Due to the governor's recent order, all members of the Fair Planning Committee are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, committee members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be recognized and will be unmuted. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A committee member will be recognized and will raise their hand and state their vote. Today's meeting is a public meeting. Per the notice posted February 4th, citizens can listen to the meeting if they contacted the city manager's office to make the necessary arrangements. The meeting also will be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, and a recording of today's meeting will be available by Friday, February 12th on the city's website. Our first order of business is the approval of minutes from the previous
Kat,
meeting.
let me do a roll call real quick.
Oh, do a roll call first. Let's do that.
Rachel Barron.
Here.
Odell Cheek is not with us. Carrie Collins.
Present.
Willie Cumbo.
Present.
Sophia Griggs is not with us. Kathleen Garber.
Present.
Kimberly Gressley.
Here.
Joseph Hamby is not online. Karen McHugh.
Here.
And Anthony Tang.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, now our first item of business will be the approval of the minutes for the November 9th, 2020 committee meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Motion was by Willie, second was from Karen.
Thank you.
If you want to do the roll call vote.
All right, Anthony.
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Kat.
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes.
Willie.
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
And Carrie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. The minutes are approved. Next item is the Carolina Classic Fair updates. I think
Cheryl,
you're muted, Cheryl.
You'd think I would have this down by now. Okay, I'm going to combine 2 and 3 together and talk about the updates and the entertainment. So right now we are continuing planning full force for the fair. We're very optimistic that it's going to stay full force, I'm sure, along with our many COVID protocols enforced, but that's our goal. We just kicked off a meeting with Vela, our advertising agency, and we're getting going with plans on the website update, the creative, the app development. Or of course, our theme this year is second to none in 2021, and we're really excited on what all they're going to do for us and create for us. Entries, we're in the process of contacting all of our individual superintendents to get any changes, additions, as we start to update the entry process for the fair. Our vendor concessionaire contracts, Carrie advised me those contracts will go out in April as in previous years. So we're trying to keep that as the same as normal. Carnival Straits actually will kick off their fair season this Friday at the Osceola County Fair in Florida. We're looking forward to getting some feedback from them on their operational changes and the extra COVID-19 protocols that they're going to be putting in place. Let's wish them luck on a successful event. So entertainment, I have been in contact with a lot of our entertainers and received availability confirmation from most of them from where we were going to roll the 2020 entertainment into 2021. Once I get all this information, I'll be working with the city attorney's office on any additional contract wording or addendums as needed. So that process is moving right along. We're also closely monitoring our state and local organizations for updates and ideas. We're attending as many web seminars and Zoom meetings as possible. Rachel and I actually attended one last week with Fair Manager Danny Alfonso of the Manatee County Fair in Florida. They were the first scheduled fair in the nation for 2021. He shared with us as what he considers a very successful fair. All the enhanced safety protocols that were put in place. And he was very receptive he was very encouraged by how receptive the public was to all the changes. It was some really great information. Do you want to highlight anything on that, Rachel, that you learned or?
Yeah, I think one of the best thing is that it was a concessionaire association meeting. And so it was a lot of the food concessionaires, and they were all talking about like what worked for them and how they were able to space out their lines so they could social distance while you're in queue for food. And some of them offered pre-ordering, which is really optimistic. And they liked doing the pre-orders so people could go on the app and order their food and then just go pick it up so they don't have to wait in line, which is something we've been looking into for doing to our app. So that was encouraging that on the vendor end, they appreciated having it. And then another interesting thing is that Nick Straits was at Manatee County Fair and South Florida Fair, both have run recently. And they walked around with their concessionaire friends and everything, and kind of saw what worked on both of those carnival ends, because both of those carnivals weren't run by Straits, but they were by Wade Shows and another carnival. But they were able to watch how it worked, how the cleaning worked, what they thought were better ways to do it. And so they got pretty good ideas on the best ways to keep the rides clean, keep them organized. Manatee, the way they ran their rides was like the first round of people riding the rides, they were only in the odd number seats. And then the next round, they were only in the even number seats. And then they did a full clean of the ride after that run. And then they would do it all over again, which I thought was a pretty cool way to make sure you're not touching the same surfaces and all of those things, but still able to keep the line moving pretty well. So I think it was encouraging to be on those calls to see how Florida's running their fairs.
Definitely. And I think as we start to open slowly all events, we're going to get more information, and we'll continue to learn and adjust our processes to make sure that we're in line, of course, working with our county and state health departments, and let's just see where it goes as we slowly start to open up. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Yes, Karen.
What are the dates of the fair this year? I don't think I have them.
It's October the 1st through the 10th.
Okay, thanks.
Easy this year.
Yeah.
And then I know y'all put a lot of work and energy and effort last year into kind of developing like what the fair was going to look like with the COVID protocols, which then ultimately we had to kind of put that on hold for the drive-through. But would that kind of be the same plan that right now we're planning to implement of masks and hand sanitizers and the increased cleanings and all of that?
Yes, that's definitely going to be a big basis starting point for us. We've got a good document there, a good plan in place, and I look at us planning this full force. I'd rather scale down than have to scale up.
Mm-hmm.
So by putting all the information that we put together last year towards this one, especially the safety protocols, I don't see masks or hand washing or anything of that going away anytime soon. So a lot of those informational pieces that we put together, I'm sure will be part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? No, Robert, do you want to talk about fairgrounds? What's going on?
Sure. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Chair Garber. I'll just touch base on the fairgrounds as a whole real quick. For those who don't know, we are currently I guess we'll call it a hub location for the county. We are doing vaccines 6 days a week. They're averaging probably about 1,200 vaccines a day, give or take, depending on the day. And we are still doing the testing through the cattle barn. The drive-through testing is still taking place Tuesday and Saturday. So, I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell as far as kind of our event schedule. The county is going to be in here until May 31st, and we are still operating the ice rink. But outside of that, we're kind of just pushing events off on a case-by-case basis. Under the current order, we're still unable to have any kind of mass gathering, so we are still at just under really no events at all. That's pretty much it for me. Any questions?
No, I'm very impressed with how quickly y'all were able to get and partnered with the county as far as getting the mass vaccination site set up, though. I know IAFE had sent out an email, I think even a week or so ago, of like, hey, the fairgrounds, like, those are great facilities that could be used for this type of thing. Let us know if you need help, like talking to your local officials about that. And I was like, we've already done that. So was just really impressed that we've already kind of taken the resource that we do have available in our community and are using it to try to get as many people vaccinated as possible. And just kudos to the staff too, because I've gotten tested at the fairgrounds a couple of times and it's been a very smooth and easy process. They've done a great job of trying to get people through the cattle barn as quickly as possible. So I've just been very impressed with all of the operations that y'all have got going, even though they may not be the normal events that we're typically hosting, that you've still done the best with what you've got available. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
I just have a quick question, Robert, and I don't know, and it may be that it's not a city issue, but it's a THA issue. So with the public skating, there's 90, no more than 90 people that are allowed to public skate. But with hockey games, with the THA games, they're still just allowing one spectator per skater, which gets it far under the 90 that are allowed to public skate. And there's just always lots of questions of, well, if you're allowing 90 people into public skate and we can't get in more than one person, which takes us to like 25 or something like that. So is that a city issue or is that a THA issue? Just because people look at me and I'm like, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, that's, I mean, so that guidance is really based off Governor Cooper's ordinance or executive order. The 90 people is for ice skating specifically. So 90 people essentially in the rink skating, working out, so that we can provide a physical fitness outlet to
Gotcha. Okay.
citizens. The games fall under a completely different ordinance because spectators fall under a mass gathering piece. So that's where it goes back to the 25, and that's where it gets tricky because we've gone back and forth over, well, let's just not allow anybody, because trying to pick and choose which parents come in and which don't is harder than just saying no one can come in.
Yeah, no, that answers my question, right?
Okay.
Just with that the 90 falls under a separate ordinance. So that's all that I need to know.
Yeah.
To be able to answer. That's good.
Got it.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, well, our next meeting will be Monday, April 12th at noon, probably virtually, but TBD on if we may actually be able to see each other in person again soon. We'll be in touch with the details. So if there be no further business, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank y'all.